Hi, today's video is going to be on reference angles. Alright, we want to label the appropriate sides as adjacent, opposite, and hypotenuse. It's important that we are able to recognize and know the difference between these two sides. We're going to label them in respect to the marked acute angle. Keyword here is acute angle. When I look at this triangle, I have a right angle and I have two acute angles. We want to do it in respect to the marked angle. So in this case, the marked angle is angle C, and this is going to be the reference angle. It's the reference angle because that is the angle in which we are referencing to make the determination of adjacent, opposite, and hypotenuse. Now we get to the first word, adjacent. Adjacent means next to. If you remember that, we talked about adjacent angles. Now there's two sides next to that angle. I've got side CB and I have side CA. Both of those sides are next to the angle. So we're going to come back to that. We're going to look at opposite. If I look opposite angle C, this side is going to be opposite. And then we have hypotenuse. Now we know the hypotenuse is always the largest side of a right triangle and it's always across from the right angle. So here's my right angle, which is going to make this side right here the hypotenuse, which eliminated one of those adjacent sides as the option, which means that this is going to be our adjacent side. So remember, all of this is in respect to angle C. If I had changed to angle A, then my sides would change. A hypotenuse would still be there, but adjacent and opposite would change. So if we look at the next one, this time I want my reference angle to be angle A. So when I look at angle A, I like to start with opposite. So I go across from angle A. This is going to be the side opposite of angle A. And then I like hypotenuse because I know the hypotenuse is always going to be across from the right angle. And adjacent, one is going to be the one that's left, and two, it's the one next to that marked reference angle. So here's going to be my adjacent. All right, so we're going to look at that a little bit more. Right here we have our triangle DOG, and we want to use that triangle DOG to answer the questions. So name the reference angle if OD is opposite. So if I'm looking at segment OD, I want to know what angle did I reference to have OD opposite. So if I look opposite, that is going to give me angle G. So the reference angle, the angle that I was originally using to go opposite, is angle G. Number two, name the reference angle if OD is adjacent. So if I'm still looking at OD, but now I want my angle to be next to it, not across from, you have two options because we know G is across from, angle O or angle D. Now angle O can't be it because reference angles, if you remember from above, is going to be the acute angle. So the acute angle is going to be angle D. Number three, if G is the reference angle, clean up my picture here. So here's angle G. This is my reference angle. What ratio results from adjacent over hypotenuse? So if I just label all my sides, this is opposite, this is adjacent, this is hypotenuse. So I'm looking for the adjacent side. The adjacent side is next to OG over the hypotenuse, which is GD. So we're just looking for the sides that are in that relationship to the given reference angle. Our last one is angle D. So if I have angle D here, now this is going to be opposite instead of adjacent. This is going to be adjacent, and this is still going to be my hypotenuse. So the hypotenuse is always the side opposite that right angle. From angle D as my reference angle, the opposite side is OG. The adjacent side is OD. So opposite over adjacent is OG over OD. So it's important that you're really paying attention to and being able to label opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse, and then base your decisions on the given reference angle, because different angles are going to have different opposite sides and different adjacent sides. And that's it for today's video.